Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Build with the CEO. We are in week 4 of the Get More Clients project. My name is Trevor. I'm your host. I'm your coach throughout this project and on Build with the CEO. And I'm excited to be here with you today. If you haven't noticed, I got the old school throwback Coach Catalyst t shirt on today. We've got our good friend Habby. If you want to hear the story of Habby, ask me, buy me a drink at a bar sometime, and I'll tell you all about Habby. But today is all about you. It's all about week 4 of Get More Clients. And I am going to give you your marching orders this week on what you need to accomplish or what the goal to accomplish is and how to do that. We'll talk through each of them. So thank you guys for joining live. I see a bunch of you on here. If you want to use the chat, feel free to drop that in. I've got that open on another window. I'm so happy to answer that stuff live. And there we go. Now I got it open. Sweet. Well, welcome again. Let's just run through quick review of the last 3 weeks in case you're behind. If you're behind, it's not a big deal. You are not out. Everything we're teaching in Get More Clients is the framework around any launch. So even if you aren't going to launch on September 11th with the group, that is okay. You can use the principles we're teaching and how we're setting this stuff up so that you can launch any program anytime. But any great launch takes about 4 to 6 weeks to really do well. That's something to always keep in the back of your mind. I think it's something that a lot of people screw up. We have this great idea. We want to try and launch really quickly, and we just in a week try to throw everything together and get it out there. I think that can be good for testing things, but when we're trying to do a really good launch, it takes a good 4 to 6 weeks to really dial things in because you have other things going on, right? Most people aren't just launching full time. You have clients to serve. You might have your day job that you need to take care of, and this only you only have a couple hours a week to dedicate to this. So a good 4 to 6 weeks is a nice time frame to be able to launch something really well. And just to give you some context, when we run our large virtual summits like the last one we did in July, the nutrition coaching summit, we're launching that almost 8 weeks before we go live because it just takes that long to get everything in order and make sure that it's a great experience for every single person involved. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for putting in the work. Thank you for changing some lives. We need more coaches in the world, and I'm excited to help you build your business. So let's go back through the last 3 weeks. Week 1 was all about getting your kind of house in order, right? We were trying to make sure we were figuring out what we were going to do, what we were going to call it, how many people were going to be there, right? We were just getting all of that stuff set up. And then in week 2, we started talking about the funnel. We started talking about all the pieces that are involved there. How are we going to sell this thing? There was some confusion with the funnel that I want to straighten out right now. Is if you are a brand new coach, you're just getting started, you maybe don't have much of a list, you don't have much of an audience, you likely don't need a full blown funnel. You could literally put the specifics of the program in a Google Doc, and then you could just give that Google Doc to people. You're going to fill it by lots and lots and lots and lots of conversations. So don't feel like you need all of this complicated backend. You're going to get to a point as a business owner where you're going to need something like Growth Catalyst. Like that should be a goal where your business needs a CRM, sales and marketing, project management, all of that stuff. You want to get to that point. But most coaches, when you're starting out, don't need that right away. So there was a lot of conversation in the community about how to do that. So if you don't know how to do that, jump into the community and participate in that conversation. Jacob put some really good info in there about how to execute if you don't have a big business at this point, or if you are just getting started. So hopefully that clears up a little bit about week 2. But for those of you that are using Growth Catalyst, we already have everything built for you. So you're just going in and tweaking things, building the funnel. Now, remember the strategy for this particular launch is twofold, meaning we have a wait list and then we have a like an open cart, right? We're opening the doors. So the wait list, the reason why I should sign up for the wait list is to be entered into the scholarship, right? And remember, a scholarship is different than a raffle. Whereas scholarship, I'm going to fill out an application, which creates a slight barrier to entry. So we're going to get a slightly better prospect, someone that's more interested, right? If I have to answer a few questions, I'm going to be more interested in what you're offering than just a raffle where I put my name in the hat. So that's the difference, right? They have to fill out an application. And the second difference is you are going to pick the winner. You are going to pick the winner. So that is what the focus should be right now from a marketing standpoint, is getting as many people onto your wait list or signing up for the scholarship, right? Applying for the scholarship. That is the whole strategy right now. Get as many people as you can into that. Because next week we're going to be opening the doors to the actual program where people can pay. There's going to be a few other things we need to get straightened out this week that I'll give you the checklist for, but marketing, everything is going towards that scholarship. Okay, that's the first part, and then the second part of our kind of sales process is going to be opening the cart. That's where we're going to be blasting it to everybody that our program is now live. Okay. So right now, scholarship, get as many people to apply as possible. They're all going to win second prize. One person is going to be the winner, not a raffle. We're not picking someone random. You're picking the person that is most deserving. Everyone else wins second prize. We got to figure out what that is. And then we're going to open the carts to everybody starting next week. We have it slated as next Tuesday, but you make that adjustment based upon what you have going on. Okay, that was week 2, was all the funnel. Week 3, I gave you a bunch of strategies around how to fill this thing. And I gave you a hierarchy. Start at 1, move to 2, move to 3, move to 4, right? The thing that we did all the way back in week 1, build your list of 20 people. Right? If we haven't done that, that is first priority. Build your list of 20 people based upon the audiences and the assets that you already have available to you. If you have a current business, you likely have clients that are no longer working with you. They could be on that list, right? If you have a cell phone, there are contacts in that cell phone. Those could be potential people for that list. If you are part of different organizations inside of your community, those could be potential people. Your goal is to come up with 20 people that fit your perfect client, that have the problem that you can solve. Those are the people that you're going to put on that list. And then we're actively reaching out to them right now. That should be the plan. Right now, actively reaching out to them, inviting them to the scholarship. Hey, I just created this thing that helps XYZ person achieve XYZ result at XYZ timeframe using my XYZ method, right? Really clean, one sentence explainer. And then I've created a scholarship. If you're interested in the application, just let me know. I just thought of you and thought you might be interested. If you want to give it a go, let me know. And here's the link to do it. So it doesn't need to be complicated. Obviously, I'd come up with a little better verbiage than what I just gave you off the top of my dome, but like, you get the idea. We're reaching out to a bunch of people to make that happen. Okay. So last week we ran through a bunch of those. If you can hammer a joint venture or something like that in this time frame, that's going to be a good thing to execute this week as well. But if you don't know what to do for marketing, go back to last week, go through that stuff, and make sure that you are executing on that well. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to be happening. The goal is to open the doors next Tuesday, which means there's a few things that we need to do before that. We need to pick a winner the day before we open the doors. And that gives us a few things, right? I'm going to use our time frame right now. Doors open on Tuesday. That means Monday we need to pick a winner. That means Sunday night we need to let everyone know this is your last chance, right? Humans move when they hear last chance. And I'll talk about a little bit about this when we talk about the cart being open. But humans move when a deadline is imminent, right? So the deadline for the scholarship is going to be on Sunday night. That gives you opportunity the rest of this week and throughout the weekend to be able to let people know that, hey, it's happening on Sunday night. We're closing the scholarship. So if you do want to apply for a free ride, a full ride as part of the first class, then get that done. Okay. Really simple. Cool. That's going to end. Monday, we're going to do a big announcement on any audience that we have, email, social, yada, yada, yada. Here's our winner. Here's our winner. Here's why they won, right? Tell a little bit about their story. And so one thing here is I would run it by that person and just be like, hey, are you okay with me announcing this on socials? I think your story's awesome. I think your why is incredible. And are you okay with me kind of letting everyone know? Cool. If they say yes, awesome. If they don't, respect that. Everyone else then is going to get second place. So you have to figure out what second place is. Preferably, I like for second place to be some sort of value add rather than a discount. So something that only those people are going to get. Okay. Something only those people are going to get. Um, One question that just came in. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so I can see it all. How to put the scholarship questions together to review. um, Whatever form builder you want, right? So is it a Google form? Is it Woofu form? If you're using Growth Catalyst, it's built right into into your funnel as a form. And so any way to collect information, right? Google is probably the easiest because it's free. If we're using kind of the low tech approach, so someone would need to apply. They would go to really the application would be filling out a Google form. That would be the application, right? Pretty straightforward. Just make sure that when they hit the form, we have like a header on it so they know where they are and yada yada yada. But that's likely going to be the easiest way to do it. Again, personal reach outs, that kind of stuff. What types of questions to ask? So we do have a template. I think I'll drop it in there, but it's really simple stuff. Like it's like why why do you want, like why are you applying? Like how will your life be different? Right? We want those questions where they're going to dig a little bit deeper into why they want to change, and we're basically getting them to sell us on why we should give them a free round. Okay, and then obviously we're collecting their email and those kind of things, but we want them to sell us on why they should be. It does a couple things. One, it makes them want this more, right? Because they're selling us on it, and then it tells us their why, so we can actually help them be more successful. Okay, so we need to finish our scholarship up, pick our scholarship winner, figure out what the prize is going to be for our second place. Okay. Is it an extra call? Is it an extra guide? Is it um, a training session? Whatever our structure may be, what else can we give them? Because like we need to provide value. If we can't think of anything, we can discount, but that should be like the absolute last resort. Absolute last resort. Okay. Let's see if we can add some value there. All right. Then on Tuesday, we are going to open the doors. So that is like announcement day. Anywhere that we have influence, right? Or where we have an audience, we are going to announce it to the world. We're going to scream it from the rooftops. Right? This is what we're doing. Anyone in our world should know what we are doing. It's okay to be loud about this stuff, right? We want to be loud, we want to be clear, and we want to be everywhere. So if we have an email list, right, the launch email is going out. And I'm going to give you kind of the 7-day sequence and like the big subjects for these, because we're going to want to hit our email list pretty much every day for the next 7 days, providing value, talking about what we're doing, and trying to get as many of those people onto this program as possible. And I'll give you some kind of like hacks around email, so you can make it feel less like markety. So a couple things. Let me get to these questions here just before we get to the next. Because Kristen asked, I may have done it wrong, but I opened it and it couldn't edit it. I downloaded it to Google Forms. All right, we can talk about that, Kristen, because you're using Growth Catalyst. So we're using landing page without the payment turned on to collect names. Yes, Risa. So at this point, we are just collecting. We are not asking for money at this point, right? Scholarship is just application, application, application. And then on Tuesday, when we announce it, when we go live, we're flipping the buttons to now pay. Okay, now we're flipping the buttons, so now people can buy, they can purchase it, and go from there. Okay, so we will change all of the buttons. Again, you're going to change it on Monday night or right away Tuesday before the announcement, that kind of thing, so that when everyone lands on the page, we're not changing the page. Right, this is too complicated. We're just going to change. We're just going to change the. We're going to change the buttons. Okay. So we've got this like dual deadline, right? We've got the first one where the scholarship ends, that ends, and then we're going to launch, opens it up, and then we're going to close it down. We're going to close it down, I think the next Thursday, that's September 10th, which then allows us to get everything going on Friday, on the 11th. So I know the 11th in the United States can be a sensitive time or a sensitive date. So if you want to open it that Saturday, you can just condense a few things on the welcome sequence. That's just fine. Or if you wanted to open it a little bit earlier, you can as well, adjust as you see fit. Okay. So now with any launch, there is going to be this arc that happens I shouldn't even say an arc. It's going to be really a dip in any launch. And so if you do have a little bit of an audience, if you do have a little bit of influence, right, and you think you're going to get 10, 15, 20 people in this particular challenge, you're going to see a few things. One, you are going to see a bunch of people sign up right away. Okay. Those are our fast action takers. Like they just take action in life. They just get it done right now. You're going to see a bunch of those. And then you're basically going to see no one for the middle, right? That's just maybe they trickle in one here and there. If you're having conversations, maybe they happen, but you're not going to see a lot of people purchasing in the middle. That's pretty common. And so the best advice I have for people at this point is like, don't freak out because that's normal. It happens to everyone. It happens to us at Coach Catalyst. It happens in my gyms. It's going to happen to you. It's very, very, very common. I'm shocked when it doesn't happen. And then at the end, you are going to see a big uptick in people signing up. That's just how people work. Everyone is at the beginning or at the end. And so our goal is to just keep them engaged, anyone that hasn't bought throughout, right? And then at the end, we're going to see a bunch more people jump in. So a few things with email. One, you're going to put, if you have an email list and you email regularly, right? Everyone is going to go on your sequence. If you don't want to sell this to members or people that are already training with you, I'd take them off, make sure they're tagged correctly in your CRM. So you can take them off of this particular sequence, but you're going to put everyone on this sequence. And then I would have an opt out of this sequence, okay, where they can unsubscribe specifically from this sequence. So they're not unsubscribing from your entire list. They're just like, hey, I'm not interested in this particular thing. I still love your list though. So you can just have like down at the bottom, you can tweak some of that stuff where it's just unsubscribe from this list. Okay. That just make sure they're still on your list and then get back into your normal newsletter rather than just having the same unsubscribe across everything. This can be a way to kind of preserve some of your list. So we're going to be emailing everyone. I'm going to give you just kind of the themes for every email. We may be able to get these all in the community for people that aren't using Growth Catalyst, but Growth Catalyst people, they are in your sequence. They're in your automation. You just want to go in and make sure that you tweak all of these. So it's going to take you an hour or so to go through all of these and make them your own, but the framework is there, like the bones are there. You just got to make it your own. So day one is the open, right? This is the launch. We're going to be loud. We're going to be clear. We're going to be everywhere that we have an audience. Okay. Day two in our sequence is Wednesday. We're going to talk about the story. So why did we build this? Who is it for? Right. And we're going to get that out there. So why did you even do this? Like in the first place? Like what's its purpose in the world, right? Day 3, Thursday, now we are going to talk about some social proof. Is it the program's track record? Is it your founding story? We're not going to fake results here. Like that's not what we're trying to do. That's not the world that we're in. There's enough people out there faking results. You're going to find real testimonials. You're going to find, if you don't have testimonials yet, you're going to talk about your story, your background, your credentials. Why should someone trust you? Social proof is always going to trump everything. So we put social proof here on day 3. Day 4, we call this the mirror. So we're going to talk about the 3 objections answered before someone asks. And the 3 major objections are, I don't have time, I've tried everything, and I don't have the money. So we're going to answer those 3 inside of that one. If there are other common objections that you have from your specific population, from your client, we put them there. Okay, that's day 4. We want to basically get in front of objections before they even happen. Day 5, on Saturday, we're going to go inside the program. We're going to go inside the 4 weeks. And we're going to talk about who it is not for, right? Qualifying out people actually sells a lot harder than trying to pitch people into it. So we want to say, who is this not for, right? And that'll be specific to your client. Then on day 6, this would be Sunday, I believe, we're getting close to the deadline, right? We're getting close to the doors closing. And so this is really that first decision moment for people. The doors are going to be closing tomorrow. And like, get in or get out at this point. And then finally on day 7, the doors close tonight, right? The doors close tonight. And we start closing the cart, getting everyone in, getting everyone rocking and rolling. Okay. You can extend this a little bit. We've given you 7 days, right? But depending on when you want to close your cart, maybe you want to close your cart a little bit later. You don't have to email every day. You could put a day in between, but we do want about 7 emails in this time frame, in this kind of 7 to 10 day time frame. So we want a lot of like information, and you can take those emails, you can break them down into social posts as well. You can do stories. Honestly, we're doing it all. Like we are just throwing everything out there in this week and making sure everyone knows what we are doing. And then if it's right for them, we want to make sure that what we're putting out there resonates with the right people. Okay. And so that's where we're talking about objections. We're talking about who's it for, why we created. We're talking about the results that we've already gotten for people. Right. And we're getting it all out there. So you adjust this timeline as you see fit, but this is how we're going to flow with it. And this is the marketing. Okay. This is the last big marketing push before we close the cart. Okay. Now, there are a few things that we need to talk about from a program standpoint, okay, a program standpoint that you want to start figuring out this week. Now, you're going to have people that sign up day one. Let's say you launch on Tuesday, you're going to have people signing up right away on Tuesday. So the question you need to ask yourself is, all right, what do I do for those people to keep them engaged because the program doesn't start for another like 10 days? And one of the best ways is when they sign up, we want to put them on like an onboarding program that has 2, maybe 3 days worth of content in it. Okay. And that content is going to talk about the program, how to get the best results. You're going to introduce yourself. And honestly, what I believe to be the best is 3 short videos from you. Day one, hey, it's Trevor. I'm super excited for you to be part of Transform in 4. The program starts on this date. So I'm going to have 3 videos over the course of the next 3 days that are just going to help get you ready for this challenge, give you some ideas, some things to think about, and some ways to prep for this challenge. You're going to be inside of our app. We can work out any tech issues that you have before we start. But just know that I'm here in the background. If you have any questions, leading up to the start of this challenge, there's a little message button down in the bottom toolbar. Just hit that thing and send me a message. I'm happy to help out however I can. Today, I just wanted to say welcome. You're inside, and I'm excited to help you over the next 4 weeks. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Right. In day 2, we do another video. In day 3, we do another video. Okay. If you do want to, collect some qualifying information, if you want them to fill out like a form, an intake form, or anything like that, this is a great time to do all of that. Okay, so we have 3 kind of welcome days moving into it, right? But these are more about like the platform, the technology. Maybe you're using macros first or a macro tracker or something else as part of your program. Right now is the time to do it. Okay. If you are going to be doing prizes and things like that, I think prizes are awesome, right? How we recommend doing prizes is having a benchmark. If someone is 80% compliant or they've hit 12 workouts or 14 workouts and all 4 check-ins, like they win. And they don't need to win anything huge. It could be like a coffee mug, it could be a sticker, it could be a certificate, anything like that. These are all great ways to really incentivize people. People respond to incentives, and this can be an incentive. And why we do this rather than like a biggest loser type of program is um, biggest loser has one winner, right? The person that loses the most weight. We can influence physiology, but we can't control it, right? And like people will rig that to win. But my guess is in your program, like our program, we're teaching people how to be successful for life. And that means executing on daily tasks and weekly tasks. And so if they execute on those, I'm pretty confident in my system that if they're executing on the things I ask them to do, they will see results. I can't always guarantee or I can't always like predict what that's going to be, but they're going to see results. And so I want to incentivize the behavior and not the result. So that's where like the winning criteria can be like 80% compliant plus 12 workouts plus 4 check-ins, whatever that may be for your particular. And then the prizes, right? They can be really simple. They could literally be certificates that you send someone, right? They could be stickers. Like they don't need to be massive, but we do want some sort of incentive, especially for this. It makes it fun, right? And then other baseline things that we might be gathering from them. Maybe it's like a weight or a waist measurement or photos or things like that. We can capture all of this in these kind of first 3 days, right? That's a big piece of it. And so I think Kristen asked, like, so which day is day one then? This is a great frame. Okay. So someone purchases, we want to immediately put them into your Coach Catalyst account and put them on your onboarding program, your T4 onboarding. This is different than the full on Transform and Form, because that's going to be done all together as a group. This is the I just bought and now I don't want to wait for 10 days to start getting information. So someone purchases. If you're using Growth Catalyst, you can automate it right within your automation. The purchase then adds them to Coach Catalyst, gives them this tag, right? Adds them to this program, access to this community, yada, 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 right? If you're not using Coach Catalyst, you can just, hey, I saw a PayPal transfer come through or a Stripe transfer or Stripe transaction, whatever. I'm going to go into Coach Catalyst and add them to this program, right? The onboarding program is 3 days, 3 videos from you, and any other asks that you need them to do. Do you need them to do photos? Do you need them to waist measurement, weight, whatever? Okay, anything, any prep that we need them to do. Let's get that all done in these 3 days. And then once we close our cart, right? And that's why if we close our cart on like Tuesday, right? Or Monday, if we close it Monday night, now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday can be those 3 prep days. And then Friday, we kick off the actual challenge. And all of the information now is talking about the challenge. Okay, but the first 3 days is just making sure that people have a great experience with you as a coach, who you are, how you're going to help them, how to get the most out of this program, what we need from you right now, maybe what the prizes are, things like that. But we just want them to be engaged right away. And then if you have people joining really early, we can send out some messages throughout leading up to those 10 days. But right away, right there, let's get those 2 to 3 days of information. Okay. If you have questions with that, just hit me up in the community, and I can help out with that stuff. So, few things. What should we be doing this week? This week, biggest thing, marketing. Get people onto your wait list, meaning you're getting people to your scholarship. Okay. Have them fill out the application for the scholarship. What's your goal? What's stopping you? Right? What have you been successful in the past? Why should you win the scholarship? Like stuff like that, right? And I'll put some questions into the community a little later this week. But y'all are smart people. You can figure it out, and use some AI to help you if you need it, right? So application that is going because our first deadline is going to end at the end of this week, right? Likely Sunday night or whatever makes sense for you. Monday, we are going to announce, we're going to pick the winner of the scholarship, right? It's not a raffle, it's a scholarship. We're picking the winner. And then we are announcing that winner everywhere. And then we're starting to follow up with all the second place people and letting them know that they got second place, right? And here is what their prize is for second place. And then we open the cart on on Tuesday. And so when we open the cart, we just make sure make sure that people can pay you money, have all of that tested, right? Do my links work, right? Do we have a way for me to collect money from people? What happens when they collect money? Just getting all of those things straightened out. And then what's my process after I collect the money? I should be adding them into Coach Catalyst. So in order to do that, I need to have my onboarding program, my 3 days built out. Really simple. This doesn't need to be complicated onboarding, literally talking to your phone. This doesn't need to be like well crafted. You can use Loom. You could use Vimeo record. You could use like what I'm using, Riverside, and record that. Anything, doesn't matter. And like do a little bit of a script, use AI to help you kind of tailor it and but just talk, be real. Like that's what people want. They don't want like robots, right? They want to see that they're working with a human. So having flaws is a really good thing. And that's what helps set you apart. So you're going to get that 3-day program done so that when they purchase, we're putting them on that program, right? And we probably want them tagged inside of Coach Catalyst with a certain tag. If we're doing a community, we want to make sure that that community is set up, ready to go inside of Coach Catalyst. And those are probably the 2 main things. I should say 3 things: the program, the tags, and the community. Okay. And all of this is going to be on the Get More Clients checklist. So remember, if you need to go to that, Jacob just dropped it into the chat. Jacob, it's like we're on the same page here. So he just put the workbook in there, getmoreclients.coachcatalyst.com, right? And in the community, he put the portal in there, but it's also at the top of the Get More Clients page. You can go in and tick that off. So I think we covered everything today. If you do have any questions, the community is going to be the best place for us, right? This week, just go get a bunch of people into the scholarship, please. Lots of people into the scholarship. It is an easy ask. It is free. They need to fill out like 4 or 5 questions, right? Go find those people, because those will be the people that sign up for your challenge, because you're going to have one winner for sure, and you're going to give it away for free, but everyone else is going to get second place, and they're going to get a prize for getting second place. And that prize is going to relate to the challenge. So it's an easy next step. So that's it for this week. Go build those things. Next week, we're going to talk about selling without being weird, because next week we're going to be right in the midst of actually selling people into the challenge. So I'm going to help give you some ideas around conversations. And it's going to be for coaches that really don't like selling. Because remember, we're not actually selling, we're helping. Okay. We're helping, not selling. Okay. Got it. Cool. My name is Trevor. This is Build with CEO. We are in week 4 of Get More Clients. Until next week, get out there, get some people into your scholarship, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Later.